Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, The Life of Bree, the SPT. So this video is as promised. This video will be about the Physical Therapy Centralized Application System, also known as PTCAS. So I'm going to be sharing with you guys just simple information on how to navigate the system, because I know it can be overwhelming when you don't know what to do. And also sharing with you guys some tips and tricks on how to have the best application possible, okay? I want to make sure you get all the interviews and you get all the admission letters. I want it to be a school here, school there, school there, school everywhere, okay? And I want you to treat this like it's signing day and you trying to figure out which school you're going to. So if you listen to me, it's going to happen for you, okay? So let's go ahead and jump into this video. Okay, so like I was saying, if you see me looking down, I have notes. Y'all can't prepare for you, okay? Be some time. But I wrote some notes down about how to just simply navigate the PTCAS system. So you will go to ptcas.org. That is where you will fill out your application for every single school that you want to apply to. So if you are a new applicant, of course you will create an account with your password, username, all this other stuff. Make sure it is correct and make sure it is an email that you use frequently and that you can also filter through quickly, because this is how PTCAS will be alerting you of when information is put in, when it's updated, when it has been sent off and verified. So if you are not getting if you're not getting emails regularly, or if your email inbox is full of junk, possibly create a new email just for this, okay? So after you create your account, one of the first things that will pop up is a question about early decision. And you will have an icon, not icon, more like a dialog box. A dialog box that will pop up and ask about early decision. So early decision is this. If you have a school that is your top pick and you apply to their early decision, that means if that school says, hey, I want you, you are done with the application process. You have to go to that school and you can no longer apply to other schools. Now, I understand this may seem like a very permanent decision for others, and for other people, this may seem like the perfect decision. So before the deadline of early decision for the school, you can teeter and totter back between having that early decision or choosing just a regular application process. For myself, I chose a regular application process. I didn't have a particular school that was my number one choice. I just applied to different schools. So if you want to do early decision, go ahead and do that. If you don't, it's okay. And if you think you want to do early decision and you change your mind, it's nothing wrong with that. If you do early decision and you do not get accepted into that program, of course you can still apply to the other programs. I say go ahead and apply to all the programs. Of course, pick your one as the early decision. If they accept you, the rest of the applications are null and void for the other programs. Okay, and the next one is about which school. So on the PTCAS, once you click whether you want to do early decision or not, you will see a gigantic list of every single DPT program in the state of Texas, not the state of Texas, in the United States. You can filter it by state if you would like. I filter mine by Texas and I just looked at the schools. So on that list that contains all the schools, it will have, of course, the name of the program, the city it's located in, but the most important, what you need to be looking at, is the deadline. You'll see it more on the right-hand side of the screen. And the deadline will range anywhere from October for some schools all the way to like March. So you need to be making sure that you are aware of these deadlines. Every school has different deadlines, and these are a hard deadline, not a soft one. Trust me, it's hundreds, sometimes for certain schools, thousands of people applying. You want to make sure you are obeying that deadline. So you can sort through schools by doing that. Another thing, when you're sorting through the schools, the school that you would like, you will click on the left icon, which is the add button, and you will add it to your list of those applications that you will be filling out. So as you add each school, you will see another box at the top with the price. So let me tell y'all this, PT school First of all, applying is expensive. So make sure you save up your coins, ask your parents, work some jobs, ask your friends, family, I don't know, whatever you have to do to make sure you get them coins, okay? So the first school, once you click on one school, that's $155, okay? So you need to make sure that these schools that you are applying to, you actually are committing yourself to making sure you have a good application, because this is your money. Unless you just have a lot to spend, go ahead. If you do, go ahead and send some my way, okay? But the first school is $155. Then every school you add on after that will be $60. So if you have 2 schools that you selected, it's $155 plus 60. So whatever that number is, I didn't go to school for math, okay? Figure that out. And it would just keep adding up. There is no max for how many schools you can apply to. If you want to apply to 20 and spend that rack, you do so. But I would say to go ahead and choose about anywhere from 4 schools to 7. I know people who have applied to 12. I applied to 7. Just go somewhere that you feel like you can kind of fit in with the program. And firstly, you can afford to pay for all those applications. And also somewhere you can really see yourself going. You don't want to just dish money out there for a school that you would never ever consider, okay? After you select the schools, then you will generate a big application. So in this application, it's not crazy big. Everything is sectioned off, okay? So you will have 4 boxes on the main screen. Okay, so when you click on the first box, personal information or personal application is going to be something like that. That's going to be the first one on the top part, and that's just basic information. Fill out your name, date of birth, all that other great stuff. You know yourself, fill it out. Okay, the next one will be your academic history. So this is where you will put the colleges you have attended, every single one. If you are using a course, or if you are sending a course that you did at another school over to PTCAS, that school needs to be inputted. I don't care if it was just one course and you took at a community college in your hometown, or you took at a college abroad, or whatever. If it's a course that you are sending to PTCAS, you must put it in as one of your colleges attended. So go ahead and put your main university, community college, whatever place that you attended, and it will of course ask you how long were you there and all those other preliminary questions. Next, you will put your transcript entry. So listen closely to this. You cannot make up your grades and just put it in there. Okay, so what you're going to do after you after you fill in the section for colleges attended, then you are going to have a form that you need to download. And this form is specific for you. So it's going to have your PTCAS ID number, which I suggest writing it down along with your password and your username. It's going to have your ID number, and it's going to have special instructions for your school for them to send your transcript to PTCAS. So once you download this form, you will send it in, walk it into your register, and you will say, here you go. They already know what to do. You're not the only person in the world at that school who has applied to PT school, I'm pretty sure. So they will take that form, get your transcript, and they will send it off to PTCAS. Your only responsibility with the transcript is to make sure you get that form to your register office or whoever handles the transcript at your school, and to also make sure that when it eventually comes to PTCAS, you will receive an email saying your transcript has came, and PTCAS will be responsible for entering your transcript grades into the system. And then the next one in that academic history section is the standardized test scores. Now this is where you manually do put in your GRE scores. However, you still have to send your GRE scores to PTCAS, to the particular schools, their code that is associated with PTCAS. So don't go and put on your application your standardized test scores that you got a 320, knowing that you sending in a GRE score that's a 300. Don't sit there and lie, okay? Because they're gonna see it anyway. Don't do that. All right. So that's the second one. The box is supporting info. So this box contains information about letter of recommendations. So when we're talking about letters of recs, make sure it is from somebody you know will write you a good letter of rec. Okay? So don't just ask any Billy Bob Thornton to write you a letter of rec. You want this person to know your character, your work ethic, so your career goals, how well they think you would do in the future. Most schools will suggest 1 to 2 physical therapists. It all depends. You will have to look at that particular program. And also you can choose a professor, an academic advisor, a supervisor at your job if you held a job on campus or off campus. Those would be very great people. If you came to work doing half-ass stuff, do not ask that person to do it, okay? If you barely talk to your professor and you were an average student, don't ask them, okay? What you can do, there has to be at least one professor that you did like, okay? Go ahead and start making connections with them early, okay? Let them know your career goals at the start of the semester, the start of the year, however long you will see them. And then when it's time for you to write, when it's time for you to have someone write your letter of recommendation, they are a good person for you. They love you. They know you. So go ahead and do that. Oh, another thing to add with the letter of rec, you're not going to see that letter. So it's not a situation in which your physical therapist that you shadowed or worked for or your professor will write the letter of rec. You have it in an envelope. You can low-key, read it and see what he or she said. That's not how it works. In the PTCAS system, you will put in the information of the person you want to write your letter, such as their name, their email address, their phone number, and you can also write a little message to them saying, hey, Dr. such and such, this is for my PT school applications. I really did appreciate you for being there for me, blah, 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 blah. Whatever you want to say to him. And PTCAS will then send them an email, and in that email, they will answer a series of questions and also provide feedback of the type of student that you are. Okay, so you won't necessarily see that unless you request it later from PTCAS, okay? The next is observation hours. So you will be able to put in your observation hours either manually, or you can scan a document with with a log of all the stuff. I made a document myself. PTCAS does has an observation PDF document. I will upload the link if I can still find it. So I just marked down, of course, the setting that I was in, whether it's inpatient, outpatient, acute, whatever, the specialty I observed, how many hours, and of course I had the physical therapist sign off on it with their signature, but also their state license. So you want to go ahead and put that in. With observation hours, schools sometimes have a minimum of 50. I haven't seen 100. But I always tell people the more, the better, okay? Try to see as many settings as possible, because this is a question that does come up in your interview, which I will talk about in a whole nother video about interviews. Physical therapists, physical therapy programs want to see that you have observed in the field kind of thoroughly, not fully, because no one can literally look at every single specialty in every single way. If you can, sis, go ahead and do it. But at least I would say 2 bare minimum. You need 2 different settings bare minimum. I always say aim for a few hours over the minimum. So if your school only requires 100, do 120. It's not going to kill you. You're going to learn more stuff, be exposed to more scenarios, more interventions, more case reports. It's going to be great. So go ahead and do that. Then it's another section for experiences. So this is your time to put in your work experience, whether you worked on campus, you worked as a tech, or whatever things that you have done. Then there's another one for achievement. So this is the time for you to brag on yourself a little bit. If you presented your research at a conference, if you won some presidential achievement award, if you were a recipient of a special scholarship, not scholarship that is necessarily for income, like not having enough income or for financial struggle, don't put that. That's not an achievement, okay? Put something that pertains to your academic rigor or your work ethic or something like that. Then it's another one for licenses and certifications. So if you are licensed in anything, if you're a licensed personal trainer, go ahead and put that down. Of course, all of us who are applying to PT school, eventually you should be CPR certified before you start. So go ahead and put that in. Or any other certifications that you may have. And then the most important part of this section, all of them are important, but this one is especially important. This is the main PTCAS essay. So every year it changes. This year for 2019, it is about something dealing with write about a meaningful experience and how it shaped you. So I'm going to go a little bit into more of those tips and tricks on how to write the essay and everything else in just a little moment. So that is the essay. Make sure you write it. It's 4,500 characters, not words. So 4,500 characters is usually around like 700 words or so. It all depends. It's really not that bad if you stay on target, stay on topic. And you're an undergrad, I'm pretty sure you have had courses where you had to write quite a few papers. So it is okay. You got this. And then the last section will be the program materials. Now this section is where you click on and you will see specific rules, specific things for your program. So if you apply to 3 programs, when you click on program materials, you will have the schools listed. And then if you click on whatever school you want to go to, for me, I'm putting my school. Say as I clicked on the UTEP button, it will take me to like a home page of their PTCAS. Then there will be another one that has for me to enter my transcripts. I cannot talk. Transcripts and verification. So pretty much all of the program materials for each school has this, but you will have one that says transcript. What you do, once PTCAS gets your transcript from your university, you will then go into the transcript verification and you will manually put in your grade. Manually put in your grades. You're matching the grades that are on your transcript with the appropriate prerequisites for that program. Okay, so the reason why they have people do this, because schools tend to name different, it can be the same course, but they will name it completely 2 different things. Like at my school, in my undergrad university, most programs will have anatomy and physiology together. So it will say AMP1 or you have AMP2. My school did not do that. We had anatomy, we have biology anatomy, you have different anatomies. So I took a kinesiology anatomy and a bioanatomy. So I had to make sure that schools knew which one to look at. So I had to specifically assign bioanatomy to the anatomy section. And then I forgot, it was physiology something. In my physiology course to fulfill the physiology prereq. So that allows you to go ahead and look at your transcript and verify, but it also gives you an opportunity to verify if your transcript is right, to make sure that all the courses that you did take and you are supposed to have credit for, that they are there. Another section in the program materials are questions. So each school will have specific questions for them. Some schools is just like an easy 1-2. Have you applied to this program before? No. Or if you did, yes, and how have you improved your essay? Do you have a criminal record? No. Or yes, please not justify. Please give details on why. Some can be as simple as that, or other schools will ask you to fill out a whole bunch of other essays. I know for my school, one of the essays was something about how does my goal or how does my personality or characteristics, something of that nature, match the school's mission and vision statement. So you can have something as simple as that, to tell me about a time in which you saw a physical therapist display professional behavior or non-professional behavior It can be a series of anything. Those applications for that specific school is also important to fill out, not just your main application. Your main application just gives you a nice glimpse of, okay, this person can write an essay, it's meaningful, they can stay on topic. But then schools want to know, why do you want to attend their school? Okay, so that's totally different. Okay, so that was just navigating the PTCAS system. Now I'm going to tell you the tips to make sure you have a bomb essay, a bomb application, these bomb letter of recs, okay? The first tip is to find the schools you want to attend before you start adding all of these schools to your application. So, of course, you can go on PTCAS and look at the list of schools. Sometimes you may see a school that you've never heard of. You can go ahead and do that, but I suggest after you do that, go to the school's official website. Look at the curriculum. Look at their admission policy, or some schools even put their admission statistics, such as the average GPA of people who get accepted, the average GRE. Look at that. Look at the opportunities that you have for growth. Say, for instance, you have professors there that are neuro, and you really want to one day become a neuro certified specialist. That might be pretty cool. Or if that school has a pro bono clinic that you can work at. PTCAS won't tell you all of that. So I want you guys to take time to do some research. Go to that school's official DPT website. Go ahead and look, investigate. You'll even find the phone numbers of the faculty, the admission advisor, and all of that. And you can talk to them, have a conversation to see if you are the right fit for that school, and also if that school is the right fit for you. So I say go ahead and do that. Another big thing is to look at the prereqs. Most schools have a general, everyone kind of has the same prereqs, but certain schools are plus or minus 1 or 2 prereqs. So I say go ahead and make a master list of all the schools you want to apply to in their prereqs. And of course, you will see similarities between them. And of course, I want you to highlight the prereqs that stand out, that are usually only 1 or 2 schools require it. Then with that master list, I want you to create a master list of all the prereqs you have taken and the prereqs you will take if you are still in undergrad. And I want you to go ahead and compare. Make sure as the semester goes on, you are knocking out those prereqs, okay? So all schools, like I was saying, will have the same general ones, which is biology, chemistry. Biology 1 and 2, let me say that. Chemistry 1 and 2, plus the labs for those. Physics 1 and 2, plus the labs. Anatomy, physiology, medical terminology, statistics, and they also have to teach ANOVA. Psychology, an intro psych class, and certain schools would be fine with you taking an abnormal psych, and some schools specifically want lifespan developmental psych, okay? So you have to be careful. There are also schools that will accept communications. Those are one thing. Certain schools that require exercise science or exercise physiology. That's what they require. An exercise physiology course. Some require a critical writing or analytical writing course. So each school, like I said, will have plus or minus a prereq or so. So you have to make sure if you're applying to that school that you fulfill all of those prereqs. So another question I do get asked is, do I have to complete all of my prereqs before I apply to PT school? And the answer is no. You do not have to have every single prereq completed. However, I would say to make sure you have majority of them done. Say, for instance, if you're applying if you're applying right now, and it's July 2019, so you're applying in 2019 for possible admittance into the incoming class of 2020. Yeah, for the incoming class of 2020. I would say have a good majority of those done. So as you are preparing to enter your DPT class of starting class of 2020, that you only have a few prereqs left to take. You must complete all prereqs before you can walk your behind on that campus and sit in a class for DPT school, okay? So make sure you have those things taken care of. I would advise not to be super stressed out before you start your program. I want you guys to be even keeled, calm. So try to get as many done before you start. But it's not the end of the world if you have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hey, if you can knock all 7 out before you start your program, go ahead and do that. But you do not have to have every single prereq completed before you start your program. With the application essay, the most important thing is to stick to the topic. And you might be saying, Bree, like, why you have to say it like that? Because a lot of people do not stick to the topic. If the application, let me read what this one is for this year. I don't want to misquote. Reflect on a meaningful experience in your life and share how that experience influenced your personal growth, such as attitudes or perceptions. So I want you guys to make sure you talk about a meaningful experience in your life. Don't say, well, my granddaddy told me a story about how he struggled and then it made me become more grateful. The granddaddy struggling has nothing to do with you. Okay, so talk about a meaningful experience that happened to you. And the meaningful experience also does not have to be a tragedy. Some people feel like, oh, I don't have a sob story. It can literally be anything, whether it's something good, whether it's something bad, whether it's something in between, whether you got in trouble, whatever it is. If it's meaningful to you, write about it. Okay, and the truer, is that even a word? The truer? That's not a word. The more true, the statement is, the essay is, the easier it will flow. Okay, so write about an experience that is meaningful to you. Stay on topic, and it's talking about how has this influenced your personal growth. So it's talking about how this made you into a better person, whether it changed your attitude, you learn how to stop complaining, you learn how to be more grateful, you learn how to be more optimistic, your work ethic increased, whatever it is. This essay should let people get an idea of how you are as a person, okay? And I will always say, try to tie it back into how this will shape you to be a good student and then a good physical therapist one day. So take some time to really consider your essay. If you are not a good writer, I am a decent writer. I'm not the best. Have someone look over it. My best friend, she's a phenomenal writer. She was a philosophy major. So she critiqued the heck out of my essay. For other people, if you do not have a close friend or family member that is good with writing, possibly going to your university, to their writing center, if they have one, having someone look over your essay there. Sometimes professors are even willing to do that. They have done thesis statements and dissertations. They write grant proposals, all that kind of stuff. So they possibly could do that if they're willing to. So explore those options. GRE. So that is a big thing for a lot of people. They're like, oh, I don't know about the GRE, blah, blah, blah. Can I get in with this score? And I'm going to make another video on the specifics of GRE. But with the GRE, I will say this. You want to aim for at least the average. So some schools will say they need a 150 verbal, so 150 on the verbal section and a 145 on the quantitative. So together that's really 295. But most schools look at a 300, okay? So you want a 300 or above. And with the GRE, I'm going to say don't stress about it too much. And why I say that is from personal experience. The first time I took the GRE, I was like, I know this. This is reading and some math. I know this. Girl, didn't I know it? Like I know how to do the work. But that time, like when you under the stress of taking a test and it's time, girl, no ma'am. But you know, I studied. I would show you how I studied. What did I do? I was taking many practice tests and I was getting like a 310, a 312, 315. I was doing so well. I was like, girl, I got this in the bag, okay? I went to go take the official GRE and my final score was a 302. And that's not, it wasn't my goal. Like I had a goal of at least a 310 for myself. And y'all, I boo-hooed. I cried. I was like, I'm not getting in a PT school. I can't do this. I tried. And y'all, obviously, I got into PT school. I got into more than one. So, you know, it is very possible to still get into school. If you don't get the 310 or 312. And that was my goal personally, because I know for certain schools that I applied to, their average was a 310. Some schools like a 305, a 310, a 312. I've seen a 315, stuff like that. So with the GRE, I can tell you it is okay if you don't have the highest. I had a decent GPA. My overall GPA was a 3.6. Then your GPA is also broken down. Schools will break it down into your overall GPA. They will have your GPA for the last 60 hours. Then they will also have a GPA for your prereqs / science courses. Okay, so this is how most schools calculate who is going to get an interview, who are their top candidates. Okay, so it's usually they will look at a score of your GPA, like I said, overall and prereq, then your GRE scores, your verbal, quantitative, and your analytical writing. So schools usually formulate an equation where they assign certain points to each part of that section, and they will add it all up together, and you will get some numeric number, and that's how they will kind of use to see who's, a person we can possibly interview, who's a person they probably on the wayside or whatever like that. Just because they do this algorithm based on GPA and GRE, that does not mean the other things to your application are not important. Because if you possibly are sitting along the lines of, being average, they might look at your stuff and say, wow, this person is impressive. They have a lot of achievements, a lot of experience, great letters of rate. The essay is phenomenal. This could help you get in the door, okay? So don't stress too much about the GRE. Of course, take it seriously. Of course, try to get at least the average, well, not the average, at least get the bare minimum score, or really the average. It is really the average. The average of the GRE is a 150 in each section, so that's a 300. So that's what I want you guys to try to do. If you have an amazing GPA and this GRE is kind of not your friend, it's okay, sweet girl. It's okay, sweet boy. Go ahead and still apply. Okay? If you don't have the best GPA, and your GRE scores are out of this world, you scoring a 320 and all type of other stuff, you good, okay? So don't stress about it too much. Try your best in everything that you do. But another thing where people mess up a lot on is submitting the application. And you say, what? How you don't submit the application right? What? Y'all, you'll be surprised. Okay, when you submit the application, think about it. Everyone is applying to school around the same time. So even though this is a centralized application system, it is also electronic. It is on the internet. Things happen. And also with this, PTCAS is responsible for verifying every bit of information that you put into this system. So I say you need to submit your application a few weeks early. So if I have an application and it is due November 1st, I need to submit my application in, I would say 3 weeks. 3 weeks bare minimum. Some people, you can cut it at 2 weeks. Play with your heart if you want to. Get your sympathetic system up if you want to. I'm not doing that. Don't want to. Sometimes PTCAS can take 4 weeks to verify your information. So I would say at least give yourself some time. 3 weeks, I think it's a good one. 4 would be nice. A little earlier, the earlier the better. Go ahead and submit that application in. So PTCAS, because there are people who sit at a computer and make sure all the information of all these thousands of students stuff is inputted correctly. So if you submitted your application 3 to 4 weeks early and you forgot to submit, say for instance, you forgot to verify the course on chemistry 2 in your lab, PTCAS will be able to send you an email and say, hey sis, we see it's on your transcript, but you didn't verify it or whatever it is. They'll be able to shoot you an email. You could possibly be able to correct it and resubmit it. So this allows PTCAS to catch some mistakes and you be able to correct them before your application deadline hits and you are out of luck, okay? So make sure you submit your applications in early. Make sure you are checking constantly that you have the correct deadline associated with the correct school. Because one thing you would hate to do is think you were applying to school A and their deadline is December 13th and school B is November 4th and you switch it up and now you done messed up for school A because you switched up. So go ahead and make sure you are checking over things, you are aware. The most important thing with the PTCAS system is to be thorough. That's where a lot of people make mistakes. They're not thorough, and the application is halfway done. Halfway done as in the quality. The quality is not good because you're rushing, because you were not paying attention to deadlines, or you were procrastinating. So make sure everything is filled out to the best of its ability. It is detailed and it's a proper reflection of you. Think about this as an electronic resume. You are telling a school to judge you based on the information that you put into this system. If you can't input information to a system correctly, make it thorough, make it detailed, how in the world do they expect you to make it through a DPT program? How in the world can somebody expect you to be good to them as a patient or a client if you can't do the bare minimum to get in? Okay, I understand we all make mistakes, but this is the opportunity for you to go ahead and start correcting those mistakes, providing yourself with your own feedback. Okay, so I hope everything was very helpful. I know this video was kind of long, but I wanted to make sure we go ahead and get off on a right start with this application process. This is the most important thing. This is how schools will know whether they want to email or call you for a interview. And for schools that do not do interviews, this is the only way that will be able to say, hey, you are a good fit for this program, or I'm sorry, or I regret to inform you that class is full, sis, and you did not make the cut. So pick which type of letter, which type of email do you want to open. Do you want to open one that says congratulations, or do you want to open one that says we regret to inform you? So it starts with the PTCAS application. We need to go ahead and knock that out, you guys. We're going to stay on the ball, stay on target. Like I said, if you guys have any questions at all, please email me, leave it in the comments, whatever it is. I will have my social media links. I'm very active on social media. Even if I'm not tweeting or posting a picture, I'm still on social media, lurking, looking when I should be studying. But so don't be afraid to reach out to me, okay? I'm here for you guys' success. I want you guys to win. Like I said, I want y'all to get so many admissions letters, so many interviews. I want y'all to literally have hats lined up like it's signing day. You're trying to figure out which school you want to go to, okay? So I appreciate your time and your attention. Go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to this channel. And the next video will be coming to you shortly. Don't forget, leave any comments about what video you want to see next. This is all for you. I'm going with, things that I wish I would have known when I applied to PT school and I had to figure out on my own. But anything that you guys want to know, let me know. I'm here for you. This is the Life of Breather, SPT, and I'll see you later.